do the blessing for us.
So stand. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the rain that you have sent our way, and we just ask you, Lord, to bless us with wisdom and knowledge, and Lord, guide the decisions that we make. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Roll call.
David Walkingstick.
Connie.
John Garvin.
Connie.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Joe Byrd. Jody Coates. Jody Fishinghop.
Here.
Janelle Fulbright. Frankie Hargis.
Present.
Hannah Glory Jordan.
Present.
Lee Keener. Dick Lay.
Here.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
Denise Taylor. Here. David Thornton.
Yes.
Kara Cowan Watts. You do L1.
All right, entertain approval of the minutes.
Make a motion to be approved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Pass. Begin with reports. Top and leaf job report, Ms. Diane Kelly.
Thank you, Chairman Walkingstick and members of the council. I will be very brief.
Thank you, appreciate that.
My jaws hurt from last week. I grinned so much and talked so much. I'm still sore.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I just want to say thank you all to all of your participation and support of the NCAI last week, and glad you all could come up and help support that. Had a lot of good feedback, and I know that Deputy Chief Crenton was very appreciative of all your support. We are setting up our GED testing sites. Stephanie and Lander were up in Pryor working on that, and I want to commend Gary Cooper because he's working with us to try to get that out there at the Cherokee Heights housing area. So they'll be setting that one up. So we'll have 3 testing sites very shortly. And right now, according to J. Littlejohn, we have 167 students at Job Corps. They are building back up from the graduation that they had in the latter part of August. And our capacity has been dropped, so Department of Labor, we have around 200 students that we can go up to, or we can go over that some. So they've got 30 more students that they're going to be building up, and they should be bringing those in within the next couple of weeks or so.
Well, Diane, so I want to appreciate your efforts for helping Deputy Chief get elected to NCAI Vice President. And you guys worked tirelessly trying to make that happen, so we appreciate your efforts for that.
Thank you, thank you.
Might get you on my campaign team next go around.
NCAI?
Yeah, no, yeah, for NCAI.
Run for president.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Is there any questions for Ms. Kelly? Comments? Dick?
Thank you, Diane. You did a good job.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Yes.
Diane, I do just want to make a comment, when you look at your percentages of your goals, your team is meeting and exceeding almost all of their goals, and I think that speaks well of the leadership you provide and the goals you're setting for them, because ultimately it helps our Cherokee people.
Thank you. I have a really good management team, very consistent, and they work very hard to try to meet those numbers. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Diane. Appreciate it. Good report. All right, Executive Director's report, Dr. Gloria Sly.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and honored to be here with you again. It was a long week last week. So. Okay, you have the Education Director's report. I will answer any question, or try to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions for Dr. Sly? Seeing none, Dr. Sly, good report.
Thank you.
Okay, appreciate you.
Now,
Are you going to refill for Verna?
yes, sir, I am. She scheduled a conference call several months ago for today, and so when we switched, it threw her off. But I will gladly take any questions and send them to her if you have any for Ms. Thompson.
Question for Ms. Thompson, Head Start. Yes, Speaker.
The only thing is comment, we're going to be meeting at the Head Start building.
Oh,
in
yes, ma'am.
November for our education, it may be for our whole afternoon
Oh, yeah.
of
On
meetings. as we
November
do
the
annually.
12th, on November the 12th at 12 o'clock, Thanksgiving lunch is planned for that time, and in their conference room. So yes, put on your calendars, please.
And we appreciate that
Thank you.
yearly offer.
They're wonderful cooks up there.
Yes, they are.
I like being invited up there anytime.
Yeah, I like their dressing. I like their dressing.
I do too.
Yeah.
Don't mind.
And by the way, what we're eating is the same as what the students are eating that day, as I understand it. So they are very good cooks.
Being taken
Do a
care
very
of,
good job.
students are. All right, thank you, Dr. Slide.
Right.
Have a good afternoon. All right, next from Sequoia High School, Superintendent Leroy Qualls.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pleasure to be here. Good afternoon, everyone, and I appreciate what you do for the Cherokee people. I know it's a 24/7 job. You've got my report. Numbers may have changed a little bit. They probably won't go up on the dorms. We had 118 students. That was before the delay in our committee meeting from last week to this week. And as far as I know, that number is still holding true. One thing that's not on the report is we hosted a national PSAT testing site last Wednesday, October 16th at Sequoia High School. Currently have 378 students, 277 are Cherokee tribal members. I hope you got the attachment that I had showing what tribes are represented at Sequoia. And altogether, there are 26 tribes represented at Sequoia High School, grades 9 through 12. We just completed the first semester of our fall term in block scheduling. We'll have 1 year in by December, by the winter break. So we're well into our second semester as we speak. Academic team has been competing and doing fairly well. I'm going to save the results for Mr. Crittenden, whom I have here with me. On the immersion school, the elementary school, there's a list of events that they have had in recent days and in future days of some things that they participate in, the students participate in. Next month, I plan on having the elementary principal here to assist me in my report to you on the immersion school. Trying to rotate our departments so we can give you a better understanding of what is going on with Sequoia schools. I've got some really good stuff, but at this point I want to ask if there's any questions of me before I invite Mr. Crittenden to come up.
Yes, Councilwoman Hargis.
And Mr. Qualls, a while back I asked you about Sequoia paying their students to pass their EOI test.
Yes, ma'am.
That was something that one of my constituents had asked me, said her nephew had been paid, and she wanted to know if that was true, or where's the money coming from, and can we, I know what we're getting at is,
Right.
Can we pay her student for passing that test, and he goes to Westville?
Pay her student?
Well, I guess what we
son
want to know
at
is,
Westville?
did Sequoia pay their students for passing those tests?
Yes, they did in the past.
And where did that money come from?
It come from the ISEP funding.
The what?
I believe it came from ISEP funding. I would have to double check that to make sure I'm accurate.
Is that still something you're doing?
Well, it's something that we've cut in half. There are several things that we've tried to cut down from last year to this year that have been overabundance in spending in the past. Students have been getting that. I think we're talking about different parents. The one parent that had a concern that came to school that I visited with, we're letting her go through the counselor at school to set up the way that he is to get that because she had reservations about.
Well, no, this parent that asked me, her kids don't go to Sequoia. It was her
Okay.
nephew that got paid, and she was wanting to know if she could get her son, if the Cherokee Nation paid that money, and why we're not paying students that go to the public schools
Well,
the
the
same.
answer is it's BIE funding. It's not state funding.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Councilwoman Taylor.
How many students do you have at the PSAT?
I think there's around 16 because they cap it at a certain number.
That's right. And are they all juniors, or did you have juniors and seniors taking?
I think I'm not for sure. I'm probably a mixture without having the roster with me.
Speaker Jordan.
Leroy, this EOI, I guess that's end of the year exams.
Instruction.
You mean you were rewarding the students for their academic success
They've been doing it for several years, yes.
as a reward? I mean,
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
not paying someone to,
No.
it's a reward, right,
Yes, ma'am.
for success?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I just wanted to make sure I understood it correctly. That makes a big difference.
Tomato, tomato.
All right, and we're not doing it now?
Well, we've cut it in half until we can take a closer look at things with our finances. We are having to bail out our facilities department for overspending in the past, and right now it's strapping our gen fund to where we have to monitor our spending very closely.
Hey, Mr. Qualls, if you don't mind me asking, what is that amount?
The amount?
Yeah, of that overspending.
It's quite a substantial amount. I think there was $482,000 in bills that needed to be paid. But it goes back past last year.
So, how many years is it going to take for us with the cuts that you're implementing this year? How many years is it going to take for us to finally get out of the hole and start operating at a?
Well, we're trying to cut 10% operational cuts within the facilities department. And I think with Cherokee Nation facilities taking in Sequoia facilities, I think that there can be money saved there on rentals of equipment because they've got most of the equipment that's needed.
Yeah.
We're hoping up to close to 20% a year. Now, do we climb out of a hole that's been created over many years? The answer is no, but we've crawled back close to breaking even now, although it's hurt the school budget. Our facilities budget will be okay. I'm more concerned at this point with our school budget now from having to use those monies.
Are you looking at probably 3 to 5 years in on getting back to where we was before?
I'm hoping 2 to 3, but more realistically, it may be 3 or more.
Okay. Yes, Speaker Jordan.
Are we contemplating restructuring that department?
We are.
Okay.
We've already started.
Okay, because that would be, would it be employment heavy, or is that on?
We're a little bit top heavy, to be honest, but we're looking at some things now, and we've already made some changes to help within the accounting system.
How long has the overreach?
That's
How long
interesting.
has it been occurring?
It's been for quite some time. We're trying to get it straightened out. And we will. We will get it straightened out. We've already started.
Thank you, Leroy.
Is there communication going out to the parents of these cuts? Because some parents are saying that they're not getting, they're having to pay for cleats or shoes. Are we still covering that, or is the parents having to?
I'm thinking all the athletic stuff is covered. I don't know of anyone that's been denied.
Okay. Good.
As far as school equipment and resources for the kids, right now we're fine.
Any other questions, comments for Mr. Qualls? All right, thank you, Mr. Qualls.
At this time, I'd like for our athletic director, Sequoia Athletic Director Marcus Crittenden, to come forward. He's got some really nice reports and some events to tell you about.
First of all, this is the first committee meeting that I have had the privilege of attending, and
Welcome.
I also get to make a presentation, so I'm honored to be here. I'm very honored to be an employee of Cherokee Nation and work at Sequoia Schools, work with these outstanding students. It has been a great experience to get to know these kids and to get to work with them, with their coaches. They've done an outstanding job, kids and coaches, over the last year and a few months that I've been here, and I couldn't be prouder of what all they've done, and so much of it transpired during a whirlwind of some very challenging circumstances. I can report to you, first and foremost, our students have achieved some outstanding things, but more importantly than that, they have presented themselves through these difficult circumstances with honor, with dignity, with class, in a manner that makes me very proud and that I think would make us all very proud. Just to highlight a few things, this year alone, the information that I submitted to Mr. Qualls and that he submitted for his report, just to give you an idea of how active our kids are, it's obsolete because of all the updates that have transpired just in the last couple of weeks. And in fact, my last update needed updating because of some things that transpired just this Saturday, and then I opened the mail and had another new one today. So bear with me if you would, please. Our academic team, as Mr. Qualls mentioned, they've been participating in meets since the beginning of this year. They recently competed in a 4A academic seeding tournament. That was on October 14th. They went 3-0 at that meet, which will get them a high seed for the regional that's coming up November 16th at Inola. They don't really have a record coming into that. They compete against other schools to help them get tuned up and ready for that seeding tournament. But that's a very positive achievement for them. Going 3-0 at anything is pretty tough, and I've attended some of these academic meets, and I can tell you, the questions they ask, they're not served up meatballs for that. They have to know their stuff. Band, our band has done an outstanding job this year. They've competed in a number of contests and placed highly in each of them. Third place at the Okmulgee marching contest. Percussion scored first in class. They got third place in class at the Glenpool marching contest, and that same day they also marched in a parade at Okemah as part of a creek celebration. They received a 2+ rating at Verdigris marching contest, and last week they received a 2 rating, which is excellent, at OSSAA regional marching contest at Skiatook. One thing, if you've been to any of our football games, you've heard a lot of music by Styx. That's been their theme this year, so I actually know the words to some of these songs. If they go a little too modern on me, I don't know the words to them. Cross country. I had the pleasure of observing our kids this weekend at Henrietta compete in the regional. Both our girls and boys teams went into the regional ranked second in the state, and the girls came away as the regional champions at Henrietta, and the boys were the regional runner-up. Both teams have qualified for state. We had several individuals on both of those teams finish in the top 10.
Wow.
Outstanding performances by both teams. Leading up to this, the girls won the 2A through 4A high school champion at the OBU meet earlier this year. They also finished second at an OSU meet. The boys won our meet that we host. That was last month. And the girls placed second at our meet, and they were just 1 point out of first. So they're I guess in a running event, we can say they were literally in the running for any of the things they didn't win. The state meet will be this Saturday at Shawnee. We are making arrangements for a fan bus if anybody wants to go and see a sport that we have a long, rich history in at Sequoia of success.
I think Councilman Byrd may want to go. He's an avid runner at Marcoma in the mornings.
Well, that's good to know.
It's on the bus.
That's real good to know. Yes, fan bus, the last I'd heard, plans are that it will be leaving at approximately 9:15 in the morning, and we'll have information about that, specifics on our school website on the athletics page. Football. Our football team is on a good streak here. They've had a 3-game winning streak, and if you've been following the challenges that the football team was faced with coming into this year, you know that they had an uphill climb, and they are doing an outstanding job. They are 4-3 overall, 2-1 in the district, tied for second in the district. Their 3 losses are to 3 teams with a combined record of 20-1 right now. So they haven't lost to Cream Puffs. The losses have been to top tier 3A teams this year. You don't know that at the beginning of the year when you play them. You find that out as the season develops. They shut out Keys in a Cherokee County rivalry for homecoming a few weeks back, and then beat Westville 41-6 last week, and then beat Sperry last Thursday night 28-7. One more district win for our football team will qualify them for the state tournament. And when you consider the sanctions that they were under this past, to close out last season and up to this point, that's quite an accomplishment. We were not allowed to do spring football. We were not allowed to do summer team camps. We were not allowed to scrimmage against other teams. So our first action against another team was game 1 this year. And right now, they have to just win one of these last 3 games to qualify for the state tournament. If this team was to qualify for that state tournament, which I believe they will, and if they were to win that first round game, that would be the first 3A football playoff win for Sequoia. The last time Sequoia won a playoff game in football, they were 2A. So we've got some neat things still out there for these kids who are learning and growing and doing a good job, again, representing us well.
Mr. Crittenden?
Yes, sir.
I'm just stunned as far as, like, I'm excited about what's going on at Sequoia. You guys are doing really great things, and you guys are taking a lot of pride in your accomplishments. We're short on time, and Councilman Burr, you have a comment?
I just have a comment. I'd like to commend, if you guys haven't already done in a letter, Justice Yvonne Cogger rendered a ruling very favorable for Sequoia, that there was some bias shown to them in the past. I'd just like to, if you guys haven't already done that, I don't know the protocol that if legal, if you even do that, Tiny. This judge rendered an opinion that says there was some bias shown towards against Sequoia High School. She rendered an opinion or a ruling. I don't know if you thanked the people, but I thought that was something that really needed to be brought out. So I don't know if the administration has responded or whatever, but
We have not directly, but I'll look into that.
very appreciative.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right, thank you, Councilman Byrd. Mr. Crittenden, if you would, keep your report brief. Yes, Council Lady Coates?
I think that's an excellent idea, and while we're thanking the judge, I think it would really be good form to thank the attorney who argued the case on behalf of those students and so forth as well, because that's really, where the argument is made that persuades the court oftentimes, so I think that would be equally appropriate to do. So I'll
Sure.
just ask that that be done as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Coates. Mr. Crittenden?
Closing up, softball, I brought a little something for hell on that one. Our fast pitch softball team, this is their second one of these in a row.
Right.
State runner-up, they advanced all the way to the championship game. We're within 2 points of winning the state championship. They got the runner-up. Softball and volleyball, we were both honored. Both of those teams earned the right to host the regional tournaments, and we won the regional in both of those. Volleyball advanced to the state tournament for the first time since 2006. We were eliminated in the first round, but it was an honor to be there.
Mr. Crittenden, we'd like to,
Yes, sir.
on behalf of the council, we'd like to commend the coaches of the
Absolutely.
volleyball teams as well as the softball teams.
Absolutely, I will advise them of
Okay.
that. And lastly, I think it's very important to call attention to this. October 11th was a milestone date for Sequoia. That was the date of the last penalties from the sanctions from the violations that we inherited. And there are no more penalties on our students as of that date. The last sit-out that was required took place that date, and
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Crittenden.
Yes.
Councilman Garvin?
Has there been any response from the state concerning those sanctions or anything since the lawsuit?
from the state, no.
They didn't tell you anything?
No, not from the state. Now, from OSSAA, there's been dialogue, yes.
They send you a letter, or what they send you?
There has been email correspondence, there has been phone correspondence, there has been
Anything in writing?
a meeting. Yes.
Could we get a copy of that statement?
I will find what I can get for you.
Share it with the council.
Sure. Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you.
And
Well-
lastly, we are still members of OSSAA, and we are in good standing.
Good deal.
And
Keep
that
up.
was no small feat.
That's good. Well, keep up the good work, and we appreciate all your work.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. All right, going down to old business, none pending. New business, Cherokee Youth Grant Report. Ms. Canoe's gonna entertain any questions that you guys may have.
Answer you the best I can, so.
Yes, Speaker Jordan.
Well, we'd actually asked Ron to be here. Has he already left?
He had a meeting with the chief that he was called into right before the meeting.
Well, here's our situation. Apparently, employees that are working on this, I'm not accusing anyone, but the information that we've been given is that they are telling people, go talk to your council members. And, of course, you all administer this program. And we're just kind of hoping that this information can get back to the front line, that they don't need to come and visit with us because they just need to fill the form out. You administer the program and we get them paid if they do their hours.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, all of this discussion about Cherokee First has brought something to mind with me. How many hours are we requiring of voluntary hours? 20 for
$200.
the $200.
$10
And it may be that you all might want to consider whether those hours are over-sufficient, under-sufficient, or just about right. The hours have to be completed before the money is obtained, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And there has been times when we have, the child has completed the money and we've run low on money.
Yes.
In the past. So we probably need to see some combination of maybe a slight adjustment in hours and a quicker time to get the hours done, or maybe a set aside of the money after they've turned in the application so that we don't have a situation where we have a child do the hours and maybe we don't have the money right then to take care of them. I don't think that's been happening
It did not happen
recently,
this
but
past
it has
year.
been a
We've
point.
also changed the process a little bit on
Okay.
the way those are processed. We were sending them all to accounting over to AP for them to put in the system. It's now going through a much shorter time span where I actually upload it, they all verify it, and it goes much quicker.
So take us through the process just as quick as you can. They come in, talk. Child comes in and talks to you with the parent.
Right, they go to Cherokee First, get the application. A lot of them have done this multiple times, multiple years. They have the hours, they fill out the application, the hours are signed, it's submitted and stamped in. If it's a new individual, a W-9 is sent over to AP for them to add. If the address needs updated, that's being sent over. We check to make sure they're active. Once that's done, they put it in a packet, bring it over to me. I go in and verify that, yes, the vendor's active, it's in there, everything's correct. I put it in an upload it into the system, send all my information over to accounting, they verify it, and within a day or two of me uploading, it's in the system.
So if they're saying it's taken weeks, is that an isolated?
Prior it was.
Okay, but now you're on top of
The only
this.
reason it would take weeks is if we had to send it back for some reason, or there's some type of holdup that's just not getting it updated, or the new vendor in the system.
Are they doing their hours are they submitting their hours with their voluntary organization? Because they've been through this before.
Yes.
Are they submitting those hours at the time of the application?
Yes, those are all submitted at the same time.
And the
along with
turnaround time
verification
for
and
the
everything.
check now is probably,
I think is about a week and a half on the last batch. They ranged from a week and a half. I had some that were paid 3 days after they submitted them.
okay. And this goes the same, it's basically the same process for adult assistance?
I do them all at the same time.
Okay.
Like I said, we just started that not even maybe 2 months ago. And so they should definitely see them.
And right now, we have sufficient money
Oh,
because
yeah.
we've started the new fiscal
Oh, yeah.
year.
Yeah,
And
no, we're
last
fine.
year, I think I looked, we
had a little money left, so.
served about 700, was that I think we served about 700 kids, or was there more?
There was, I want to say 2,300 or more.
Okay, 2,300, and how many adults?
I didn't look at the list of adults I'd be making
And it's
something up.
$200 for both
Yes.
programs, right? So, and there's really probably no need for council involvement at all in this process.
Not that I'm aware of.
So we'll alert our folks, there's no need them to come talk to the
I'll alert our
council.
folks
It's
also.
pretty well worked out at
Yeah.
the situation, you've got it down pat now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's-
Is all minds clear on the policies and?
Does everybody understand this program that we're talking about? It's for a extracurricular activity that the child may have, and they can get $200 if they put in 20 hours worth of voluntary work with, now, it used to be really limited, the organizations, but now we've opened it
It's a
up
little wider.
to schools and 4-H, FFA, band, there's different things that they can do. This is also a program that is available for adults, and they can also receive $200.
Yes.
And it is the same amount of work?
Same amount of work.
Okay.
Let's do on the education.
No, it's for any adult, I believe.
There is an education requirement on it that they be enrolled in a college or vocational.
Yes, that's the limitation.
Okay. What if they've already completed college or vocational? Are they still eligible?
No, they have to be currently enrolled.
Currently enrolled.
Do we still make the requirement that they sit through the little class?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
waived at
yeah,
that point, okay. Okay.
Good.
So if you have individuals that are hitting you up individually, they go there.
Send them to Cherokee First.
I'm glad to see that you're over the program.
Thank you.
I did not know that. We were getting questions, and I could have just called you.
Could have called me.
All right.
Ms. Canoe, we appreciate you.
Thank you
And
very much.
entertain your questions. Any other questions? Seeing none. All right. Announcements. Remember, we're going to be at ECC next month, November 12th at 3 o'clock. And so bring your game face. And is that right? Any other questions, comments? All right. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Second. Anyone second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right.
Y'all stay seated, we'll get resources underway.